Hello everyone, Loremaster Sotek here, and things are just non-stop rolling lately. I mean, it is... I feel like I can't even take like a full breath before Crave Assembly is throwing more content in my face, or Fat Shark is finally released the trailer showing off the new boss, Sophia Ignasis, who is literally just Necromancer, Sienna, which we'll be talking about that tomorrow, and then of course the Lustria book came out 2 days ago, and I've been doing my damnedest to read through that, and then it's just like non-stop Chaos Dwarf news, and it's just a lot. Things are very busy right now. I am deeply enjoying it all, but like, good God, it feels like every goddamn Warhammer thing that could be happening is happening. So, today, what we're going to focus on is the new reveals of the Chaos Dwarf unit art. So let's go ahead and move over here. Ba-da-ba-ba. So here you can see the artwork looks absolutely beautiful. I suspect they kind of wanted to get this out the door to show off to everyone, to be like, hey, the footage we showed you was legit alpha footage. Come look at all of our sexy artwork. And boy, howdy, is it sexy artwork. It looks phenomenal. Like all the units are very easy to see and make out, and they look absolutely fantastic. I can actually clearly tell what everything is, which I'm very pleased with. So let's just kind of go down the list. So up here in the top left, we've got the classic Chaos Dwarf Warriors. I really like the axe design. The kind of like crescent moon shape with the little notches in it looks very, very good. Then we've got some Hobgoblin Cutthroats with the stabby sword and shield. We've got Hobgoblins with bows. Then we've got Goblin Slaves, which look fantastic. Nice and gnarly. Over here, it looks like we've got... I don't know if this is a regiment of... because regiments of renown are actually included in this. You can tell some of them are literally just RORs. I cannot tell if this is a regiment of renown or if this is just like Hobgoblins sneaky gits. It could be like, oh, these are Hobgoblins with throwing knives, or just Hobgoblins with dual weapons, or it could be a regiment of renown because of how like iconic the clothing is, or how like unique it is. Not too sure about that one. Then we've got the Orc Slaves, and one thing I am super pleased about, there are no Black Orcs. There are no Black Orc Slaves, there are no Black Orcs anywhere in the roster. Thank you, Creative Assembly. I was definitely a little worried that they were going to put Black Orcs in, just because they were in the old 5th edition book, but that was before we got a lot of the more modern lore about how the Chaos Dwarfs do not trust Black Orcs anymore, and definitely have much more of a kill on sight policy with them because they're too dangerous. The last time they allowed Black Orcs in, it caused serious issues. Over here, we've got the Chaos Dwarf Warrior with great weapon, which looks fantastic. Then we have a Infernal Guard with great weapon. Really love like the curved, like the hook axe kind of shape to it. I really love how they kind of like separated the distincts, where it's like, okay, the Chaos Dwarfs that come from like Zarnagrund, who are not bound to the Black Fortress, have regular hats, so they have big hats, and man, are they big old hats. But on top of that, the Infernal Guard have the classic like helmets that are like, melted onto their face practically. And it looks absolutely fantastic. Down here we have what look to be the Infernal Ironsworn, who are the super elite unit. So they're like the most high, they're like the chosen of the Chaos Dwarf units. So I do not think they are a regiment of renown. I think they're a regular unit, based on like the size of the units we've seen in the trailer. And also, they like to take those like champion type characters or champion models and make them into entire units. That is kind of like a reliable habit of theirs. So the Infernal Ironsworn, I'm betting they're gonna have flaming attacks, considering that they are literally burning so hot that it looks like a lot of their metal is molten. I love the look of these. The design is absolutely gorgeous. Here we have fire glaives, and the fire glaives look absolutely amazing. Just a big old halberd that is also a gun, because ye motherfucking ha is how I feel about that. That has to be the most miracle weapon I think I've seen in a hot while. Even the gun axe of Kislev does not look as deadly as the fire glaive does. Here we have the regular Infernal Guard with axe and shield. Then we have the Blunderbuss on the regular Chaos Warrior, which looks great, looks fantastic. Here we have the Bale Taurus, which is the bigger version. I'm assuming this is the fancier version because its horns are like 5 times longer, and it also is like burning and on fire. So it looks way scarier than the other Taurus on this side of the screen. So I would assume this is the Bale Taurus, and then the regular one is the Great Taurus. And functionally, the difference is like between like a moon dragon and a star dragon, you can kind of think. Or like they're functionally the same creature, but the Bale Taurus has a significantly better stat line. But other than that, they're virtually the same. The Bale Taurus has a better stat line. It also has the ability to breathe fire, which the regular ones don't. Great Taurus are just like, they're kind of like wyvern, griffin, hippogriff level beasties. And then a Bale Taurus is more on par with an actual dragon, and can breathe fire. Then we have the Kadai Fireborn, who, oh, dude, the Kadai art and the unit models look incredible. Like, they're actually a glow up from their tabletop minis. A lot of these are kind of like more accurate, like, or almost 1-to-1 models from their tabletop designs, but the Kadai are like somehow improved. they're recognizable from their tabletop counterparts, but just better. But the Kadai Fireborn look fucking incredible. I'm gonna have an army of so many of these. And then we have the Kadai Destroyer, and oh my god, it looks so good. I cannot wait to see the combat animations on this thing. It looks amazing. It sounds amazing. I really cannot wait to see how it's going to tear people up. Then down here, we have a Dreadquake Mortar, and it looks like all of the Chaos Dwarf War Machines have wheels, and you can see the Dreadquake Mortar's actually got a train attachment on it, which does make me think, based on the trailer or the footage we saw yesterday with Astrogoth Iron Hands campaign. Was that yesterday or the day before? It doesn't matter. I think it was yesterday. So I honestly think that they've shown us they have the technology to make trains with attachments, because the Astrogoth quest battle is an escort mission for a train that has an attachment. So because we can literally see the part where it would hook up to a Iron Demon, makes me think that potentially we'll be able to have trains with, oh, you know what? I know for a fact they're doing that, because someone pointed out in the comment section that when they're showing off the building tree, you can see in the War Machine tree that you have like the different trains, you have the different war machines, and then at the top of the tree, there are like more variants on the Dreadquake Mortar, which likely is the Dreadquake Mortar pulled by an Iron Demon and the Dreadquake Mortar pulled by a Skullcracker. So that seems to be the case here, is that we will be able to have trains with attachments, which is super exciting. I'm curious how elaborate it will be. In tabletop, you could have quite a few compartments. You almost never saw it because I don't think it was like worth the cost, and generally speaking, like, you never needed the additional range. But it would be very, very cool to see some pretty elaborate trains. Here we have the Death Shrieker rocket. Then next to that, we have the Magma Cannon. Then we have what I assume is the regular Iron Demon, because it matches the color scheme of the others. And then here we have the Skullcracker, which looks so terrifying. It's got like 2 giant mining picks, like spear launcher impale thingies, and lawnmower blades. Like, what a ridiculous looking weapon, but like in the best of ways. And then this, I assume, is probably the big bad Regiment of Renown, which is an iron. I don't know what's going to separate it from a regular Iron Demon, but I assume it'll be an Iron Demon on cocaine. So we do have a Regiment of Renown for the Iron Demon confirmed, maybe one for the Hobgoblins. So that would be 2 so far. And then the remaining units are over here. And this one has quite a few Regiments of Renown. So we have 3 versions of the Bull Centaur renders, which is fantastic. Dragon Ogres are going to be crying over in the corner with their lame-ass 1 variant, where the Minotaurs and Bull Centaurs are all high-fiving each other for having multi-variants. So we've got the hand weapon and shield variant, the great weapon variant, and the dual weapon variant, which looks absolutely badass. The dual weapon variant also has a Regiment of Renown version that has a really sexy, look at that axe blade. That is really good looking. So we got these blue boys, which are the Regiment of Renown of the Bull Centaur renders with twin axes. We also have the Lamasu, who has the best glow up in the entire roster, bar none. We then have the Hobgoblin Wolf Rider archers. We've got regular Hobgoblin Wolf Riders, and dude, the armored wolves are like so fucking cool looking. I absolutely love the armor on the wolves. It looks amazing. This is definitely a Regiment of Renown variant. He's a different color scheme. Also, somebody, I can't find it, but somebody in my Discord actually was able to immediately identify which Regiment of Renown this is, which is very impressive. It was like record speed as far as I could tell. I wish I had saved the post. But this is actually a very recognizable color scheme for a unit that has existed in the past for the Chaos Dwarfs. Here we look to have what is a Regiment of Renown blunderbuss unit, but I really like they don't have the traditional big hats. They have like the iron. It's actually, I wonder if this is I can't tell if this is a Regiment of Renown blunderbuss or if this is a Regiment of Renown Infernal Guard unit, because it kind of looks like a blunderbuss for sure, but the armor he's wearing looks more like an infernal. So part of me wonders if he is a Regiment of Renown. He has to be a Regiment of Renown because of the color scheme. The color scheme with the blue and bronze is way too unique compared to the rest of the Chaos Dwarfs to be anything but a Regiment of Renown. But at the same time, I can't really tell what he's supposed to be. Like, I don't know if he's supposed to be a Infernal Guard unit with blunderbuss, or if he's just supposed to be a regular blunderbuss unit that has like a more unique armor scheme. I'm kind of leaning towards Infernal Guard with blunderbuss. So like the most of you, if you want your Infernal Guard to have shooting, you'll need to go with the Fireglade, but there's an ROR version that has the blunderbuss. That way you can have a blunderbuss unit that has like significantly higher armor and combat stats. Here we have what is almost assuredly a Regiment of Renown. We got some ginger Chaos Dwarfs here. That have like really sexy like bronze motifs. I really like the color scheme. So this is definitely a Regiment of Renown of the basic warriors. And then it has to be the Immortals, dude. This has to be the Immortals. And look at that thick lad. I love this. I love that. One of the things I was a little worried about is it kind of felt like the Forge World stuff was all going to be like the super elite units, and then the old models and units were going to be all like the lower tier units. And I was hoping to see at least one of them be higher tier. And the Infernals look incredible. I love the dual axes. I love the terrifying like death mask, and I love the hat. And something that I saw someone point out in the comment section that I really agreed with is you can tell this is the Immortals because of the mask, because it looks extremely similar to the mask that Black Orcs wear, especially the Black Orc Immortals of Grimgore, which is so clever because I think it goes to show that, yeah, the Immortals based their own like design, like they emulate the Immortals because they were so impressed by them, or maybe even scared of them. And like you can tell where the orcs pulled the influence from to emulate these guys, because they are very spooky looking. I am curious if they are a regular unit or a Regiment of Renown. I will say for me personally, I really hope they're a regular unit. The Chaos Dwarfs don't have any regular infantry that are dual wielding. The only dual wielder is the Bull Centaurs. So I would love for this to be like the max tier warrior unit, essentially, to go up against they're the max tier offense infantry versus the Infernal Ironsworn, who the max tier defensive infantry. But as far as regiments of renown go, so we've got one for the Bull Centaurs, one warrior, an Infernal Blunderbuss, a Hobgoblin. Oh, look at that! So he's got the spear and the bow. So I'm guessing he's like a true hybrid. Like, he has a shooting attack, but he's also as good in melee as the melee variant, which would be very sexy. That would be a very powerful unit, very reliable. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 is the Iron Demon Regiment of Renown, and then 6. So the 6, there's usually 6 regiments of renown. Or like, I don't know why, but I feel like I'm expecting 6. I think Tomb Kings and Vampire Coast had 6, if I'm remembering correctly. I feel like it's definitely not 5. I don't know why, but 6 feels like a more appropriate number. But it's either the Hobgoblins or it's the Infernals. Or the Immortals. I don't know which of them is the ROR, but I feel like one of them is an ROR. Because that would be 6, which would be, I think, the appropriate number. But yeah, this is looking absolutely amazing. I'm very excited to continue seeing more footage of the Chaos Dwarfs next week. Obviously, we're going into the weekend, so things are going to be quiet for a little bit. Real quick, I do want to say, for those watching, because I know a lot of people will be interested to hear this, but I am bringing back Lorebeards this weekend. So for those interested, we have a fancy image right here that you can check out. Lorebeards, I will be returning to do Lorebeards March 19th, which is this Sunday at 10 a.m. CST, which is 3 p.m. GMT. And it's not just going to be me. I'm going to basically be interviewing / just geeking out over all of the new Chaos Dwarf reveals with a group of individuals from the Chaos Dwarf forums and Chaos Dwarf online community. You may remember that I had a number of them on at the very end of the Chaos Dwarf Q&A, where we went over like the history of the Chaos Dwarves, and they also got to speak quite a bit about interviews that they had done with like Rick Priestley and a lot of the guys who had like created the Chaos Dwarfs. And they also showed off like a lot of really amazing miniatures and some miniatures that like no longer exist, or some that were like proposed and stuff like that. And I will leave a link to that down below if you'd like to get caught up on that. It was the final episode, so to speak, in the Chaos Dwarf Q&A playlist. So please do check that out. And I hope you will consider joining me on Sunday live at twitch.tv/Loremaster of Sotek, March 19th at 10 a.m. CST. I do want to thank you all again so much for watching. I hope you're all doing well and you're enjoying all the crazy Chaos Dwarf content. And do let me know what y'all thought of the units art down below. And which of those last units do you think is the ROR? Do you think the Immortals are a regiment of renown to like showcase that like they're so elite and they're so special that there's only one unit of them? Kind of like, I guess, like the swords of the oh my god, the Swords of Chaos, Archaon's bodyguard, or do you think it's gonna be like the Hobgoblins, so we can have like a Hobgoblin infantry ROR? Do let me know. But in any event, that's going to be it for me today, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, where we will be going over all the footage from the new Vermintide movie film thing and analyzing the shit out of that, because I am extremely excited for it. Take care. Thanks for watching. Bye.